All right, you guys, this is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson, and we are going to have a moment. So I'm happy you caught me. I'm recording this live on a Friday. We call it Fat Loss Friday. And we're going to talk about something that everyone, if you want to be informed, would benefit from being informed. So let's not get it twisted. My name is Robert Ferguson. I want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I share because I care. I'm a nutritionist and the guy who's done a lot in this space actually for a long time. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop right there. And today I'm celebrating the Mets. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! But we are going to talk about something that's very, very, very important. Today in the news, Miss Sharon Osbourne, who's 70 years of age. She had gotten a good amount of attention recently when she talked about losing weight with this weight loss drug called Ozempic. And she loses the pounds, which she says is about 30 pounds. Okay. If you guys want to join me on this, if you have questions, feel free. You can come on. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please like, subscribe if you want. I appreciate that. But everything that I'm going to share with you is brought to you by our detox drop. If you're looking to jumpstart your weight loss, if you're looking to jumpstart your health, that's a great way to get started. Okay. Everyone's benefited from it that has done it. They like it. The endorsements, testimonials are there. So I want you to do that. I also want to invite you to our upcoming conference. We have a conference called Food as Medicine. And if Sharon Osbourne was aware of our Food as Medicine conference, it would have saved her a lot of headache. Many people, it would save them a lot of headache. So we have an early bird special. If you're catching this at the right time, there's a link provided in the comment or description area. Go there and register. Also, there's a link for the detox drop. And if you're interested in becoming a coach, you want to really help people, right? It could be a side gig, part-time, full-time. We would love to have you because we're looking for coaches. We have a lot of great things happening. We have great coaches right now, but we're definitely expanding. So would love to share more with you. And if you're wanting to be a client, I have two basic programs personally. I have a discounted program. If I have space for you, I can put you into that program. And then I have my regular program. You're going to pay a little bit more, but whenever someone leaves my regular program where it's discounted, then I'll let you know, and because my goal is I want to save you money, but I also value your health, and that's not something that you put off. There's a lot of people that put off their health. They put it off, waiting on the right time, and then they lose time, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm going to share with you guys some really good information about Sharon Osbourne. And God bless this woman, seriously, because she's at a place where she's doing her best. She went into it hoping to improve her health and put herself in a healthier place. And then unfortunately, when you get in there, all right. So you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me okay? I went out there for a second. I apologize. If you can hear me, someone who's catching this live, because this is real important what we're about to cover. Okay. We're going to talk about Sharon Osbourne. She went with this drug, and I want you guys to really pay close attention. Now, before I go further, I want you to, can someone who's catching me live, say, Robert, I can hear you. I'm checking the sound because I removed myself from being on video. And I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me before I dive in extremely deep. Okay. Thank you, Marie. I really appreciate that. Okay. There's a lot of weight loss drugs out there, you guys. Ozempic is one that people are using for weight loss. WeGovy, Mounjaro, Trulicity. This is just to name a few. So it's important that I'm talking about all those drugs that help people lose weight. Sharon Osbourne is in the news right now because she's talked about she lost 30 pounds, and it sounds like she is a little frustrated and upset with the fact that she doesn't like the way she looks, and she would like to gain back some of that healthy weight. Now, when most people lose weight, they have no idea what kind of weight they're losing. Now, as a personal trainer and someone who's been in this space for a very long time, I am always looking at body composition. Meaning, if you lose weight, I want it to primarily be fat and not water or this thing called skeletal muscle. If you talk to let's say you talk to a kinesiologist or someone who does physical therapy, they know the importance of skeletal muscle. And if you lose weight, that is not the weight they want you to lose. They do not want you to lose skeletal muscle. The reason why we don't want you to lose skeletal muscle is because skeletal muscle is tied into overall health and longevity. When a person, and these are studies, loses 8% of their weight loss coming from skeletal muscle, and they're between 50 and 80 years of age, they increase their risk for heart attack by 300%. If a person loses skeletal muscle or don't have much skeletal muscle and they're diagnosed with cancer, they are less likely to survive compared to someone who has more skeletal muscle. When you lose skeletal muscle, you are going to age much faster than someone who has a good amount of skeletal muscle. When you lose skeletal muscle, the studies demonstrate that if you come down with any type of challenge from a health condition, you're less likely to survive that health condition. Your skeletal muscle dictates how fast you age, what you look like. It is very, very important. Skeletal muscle is what makes it possible for you to stand up, is what makes it possible for you to grab a cup, hold a cup. And when you look at people in nursing homes and they lose their skeletal muscle, they're one step from a hip fracture. And oftentimes when people experience hip fractures, they don't leave the hospital. And if they experience a hip fracture once, they're more likely to experience a hip fracture again. So if we can all agree of the importance of skeletal muscle, then what I'm about to share with you about Sharon Osbourne will make sense. Sharon Osbourne lost weight. She says 30 pounds. So let me give you an example of what she was looking like. Okay, so if you look to the right, that's her after Ozempic. If you look to the left, that's before Ozempic. You can obviously see that she looked healthier and better before Ozempic. But after taking Ozempic, like so many people are doing, they're happy with the weight loss on the scale, but they have no idea of the damage that they are causing to their health and their potential longevity. So in the case of Sharon Osbourne, here's what's going on with her. Sharon Osbourne wants to gain some of her weight back because she felt better and she felt she looked better. The reason why she's having a hard time gaining the weight back is because she lost a lot of skeletal muscle. And no one is educating her on this, so she doesn't quite understand it. She has not met the right people. The people who prescribed and encouraged her to take this drug did not inform her. So informed consent was not there. Any doctor or any company like Weight Watchers or Noom, and even the likes of Oprah Winfrey that put it out there for these drugs, they are not thinking about the well-being of the people who get on the drugs. They're only looking at the fact that you go from one problem of being obese to another problem where you're not obese, based on current BMI standards, body mass index. However, you're way more unhealthy because you have lost valuable skeletal muscle. So when I talk to people who are ignorant, which is a large majority of the populace, and that doesn't mean they're dumb, they're just ignorant. If you are ignorant, you don't know any better. If you talk to a kinesiologist or you talk to someone who's a physical therapist, they understand the importance of skeletal muscle. That is the last thing that you want to lose is skeletal muscle. You do not want to lose skeletal muscle. And if you lose skeletal muscle, that is not good. And here's what I want you to think about. Okay, I was talking to one of my clients earlier today. I said, okay, this client is 60 years of age. And I asked her, I said, do you have any nieces or nephews? She says, yeah, I have like 10 of them. I said, okay. Any of them around the age of 20? She goes, yes. I said, okay, if you broke your leg and we had to put your entire leg in a cast, and at the same time, your niece, who's 20 years of age, breaks her leg, both of you are in a cast. Now, when you come out of that cast, your weight on the scale may be the same, but the size of your leg is going to be smaller. And she says, yes, I can see that. It's called atrophy. The difference is that your 20-year-old niece, she's going to get her leg back to the original size. She lost muscle, but she's going to gain it back because of youth and just where she is in that moment in her life. You being 60 years of age, you lose your muscle. The size of your leg is not going to go back to what it used to be. You are not going to get the leg back to where it used to be. When you lose muscle as a more mature adult, the likelihood of you getting it back is reduced significantly. You do not want to lose skeletal muscle as an adult. If you lose skeletal muscle as an adult, you're screwed. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. And when you look at weight loss drugs, you say, well, it was approved by the FDA. Well, it was approved, but the FDA only looks at the weight on the scale. They do not look at body composition, meaning what weight did that person lose? Did they lose primarily fat? Did they lose primarily skeletal muscle and water? Like, what did they lose? So if you lose skeletal muscle, as you are getting what I'm saying, you really are screwed. Now, that doesn't mean you give up on life. It just means that you're just not in as good of a position as you were before you lost the skeletal muscle. Like, there's a diet called Octavia, and it's sold through network marketing. And in my opinion, it is one of the worst diets a person could ever do, because you will lose weight on the scale, but the bulk of the weight that you lose is going to be made up of water and skeletal muscle. These women primarily, and men who do these programs to include these weight loss drugs like Ozempic, etc., they are losing the wrong type of weight, and they're not 23 years old. So they're setting themselves up for way more problems. This would be an easy way to reduce the population if you can read between the lines. People who are taking these drugs, I really believe that if they were going to potentially live to be 88 years of age, maybe now they're going to live to be 78 years of age. The quality of their life as they mature is not going to be the same, because when you lose muscle, you're probably not getting it back after a certain age. You're probably not going to get it back after a certain age. This is really sad, you guys. This is like if I was going to be out of here tomorrow, meaning if I knew my life was over and I couldn't share anything else, I would say this is one of the most important messages that I could share as a person in my field of expertise. The sad part is that you have all of these physicians that are okay with it. I know physicians from Harvard, Stanford, and they're prescribing these drugs. And wow, number one, there's no informed consent, because they're not informing the person of what kind of weight they're losing. Number two is that they are not looking out for your best interest, because the Hippocratic Oath says do no harm. And if you are encouraging someone to take a drug that we know 100% is causing them to lose skeletal muscle, how can you be quiet about that? Now, some people don't want to hear this because maybe they're taking the drug or they're thinking about it. They would rather be stupid. And I'm going to call them stupid because they're not doing their own due diligence. If you take this drug, if my mom was taking this drug, after all that I talk about, I would say my mom is totally dumb, like stupid, like over the top stupid. And when her life gets cut short prematurely because she just wanted to lose weight on the scale, then you know what? That's on her. I'm going to be sad and I'm going to probably question my life and go, why didn't my mom reach out to me? Why didn't she hear this? Was her self-esteem that low that she just had to take this damn drug instead of like enlisting my help to coach her? What the hell is wrong with some of you people out there that just jump on these drugs like sheep? And then you're out of here and we don't get a chance to hear from you because you're gone. Or this leads you to a whole bunch of other problems. I don't know how else to explain this. I really don't. And Sharon, look, poor Sharon, with all the money and fame that she's had in her life, look at her. She can't even put back on the weight. And if she puts back on the weight, guess what? It's fat weight. It ain't going to be lean muscle tissue. It's not going to be skeletal tissue. At 70, she ain't building no muscle, you guys. She is going to be, in my experience and what I understand, the poster child of what is going wrong with all the people who are taking and going with these drugs. Now, some of you may be on these drugs because that's your situation. I have a couple clients that are taking some of these drugs. But with those clients, we're eating and doing all the things that we possibly can do to cut down on the potential loss of their skeletal muscle. We're eating the right amount of protein, even when they're not hungry, because the drug has it where you're not even hungry. And we're exercising. Some of you guys don't even want to exercise. You don't even know how you would exercise. Is it going for a walk? Is it cardio? Is it weights? You have to do the things that's going to preserve your skeletal muscle. And I guarantee you, no one explained this to Sharon Osbourne. If I could talk to Sharon, and I have a lot of celebrity friends and producers, you guys probably have Sharon in your Rolodex or your cell phone. You can text her right now. I wouldn't charge her a penny. I would just inform her and help her understand why she's feeling the way she's feeling and why things seem to be confusing. And no one, because she seems to be a really bright woman. Every time I hear her talk, she seems really smart. But no one is explaining to her what needs to be explained. It's not. It's not. Okay, anyway, let me see if there's some questions. Let's see. We have Jenny. How are you, Jenny Lee? She says, how accurate are the scales like Rimco in determining if you lose skeletal muscle? They're within 3 to 5% accuracy. It's not like getting an underwater testing or a DEXA scan, but they're pretty accurate. I use those scales. They're called impedance scales with all of our clients, and most of our coaches, we use those scales. And if you're using the same one under similar or the same conditions, you could be pretty accurate. And then you can adjust your nutrition and your activity based on if you're starting to lose skeletal muscle. So you have that. All right, we got Coach Susie in the house. She says, hi, Robert. Coach Susie Lopez here. Yes, this is sad. She lost muscle, not body fat. She did not lose body fat. Guys, you don't age that fast. Okay? You don't age that fast if you lose fat. If you lose skeletal muscle, yes, you will age that fast. And for those of you, again, who keep listening to your doctors, just because they prescribe it, you got all this respect for them. They don't know shit. I would not be listening to any doctor that recommends these drugs. That would actually be a sign that they're not informed, and I would run away from that doctor unless they can give you a well thought out explanation on why it would make sense for them for someone to experiment with these drugs. Absolutely sad. This is absolutely horrible. And there's some smart people. Oh, I'm going to do the drug for a little bit, maybe 2-3 months, get the weight off, and then I'm going to, okay. Keep thinking like that. So you're avoiding learning how to eat, which most people don't know how to eat. How do I know that? That's what we teach. With my clients, I'm coaching them. Why do you think that works? Why do you think I can post people losing all this weight and dropping body fat and getting off medications? It's because we have something that works and they have a coach. Lord, help us. Man, I don't know how to help you guys with this. This is mind-blowing. My man David Putman here, he says, but I'm at work, so I'll catch it later. Meanwhile, no Ozempic or WeGovy for me. Amen. And he's actually doing the work. He's doing the work. Okay, let me see here. We got John Kennedy Jr. What's up? He says, talk to me about Optavia. Okay, Optavia, from what I am aware of, and I've looked at it closely, the problem with that is that you're not eating enough calories, and a lot of the products have seed oils that are inflammatory. And when you're losing weight and you're not getting an adequate amount of real food, like food as medicine, then you end up losing primarily skeletal muscle and water. The same as with Ozempic. As far as the weight loss, those two programs are the same. One, you're doing like supplements, you're doing packaged foods, you're eating a little bit of food. You're so far away from what is going to contribute to your overall health that you end up losing your health. So losing, like I really believe if we just stopped everything and taught people not to focus on the weight on the scale, but how do I maintain or build, preserve my skeletal muscle, that would change everything. Because people would have a more of a balanced nutrition plan. They wouldn't eat as many packaged foods. They would not consume as many supplements because they would be getting all of the nutrients that they will benefit from the food that they eat. And yes, the soils are not the way they once were. And yes, there's a whole bunch of chemicals out there, pesticides, herbicides, etc. But here's the deal. There's ways to navigate around that, and you can eat real food. Optavia, that program, if you look at people who have lost weight, all you have to do, they look emaciated, a lot of them. They don't look healthier. They look like they either had gastric or bypass, some type of bariatric surgery. That's what they look like. You can look at the elasticity of their skin. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. And that just means that they've lost skeletal muscle. And they don't know it, but they've put themselves at risk for a shorter life, for a lack of quality as they mature. They put themselves in a compromised position that if they get not type 2 diabetes, but if they got cancer, they're less likely to survive. This is not my opinion. This is what we know to be true. It's kind of like when someone does keto, right? I'll say, find me a gastroenterologist, someone who looks at the colon every week that will support a keto diet. And I've been looking and I haven't found one because a gastroenterologist knows the importance of eating fruits and vegetables. They know the importance. I recently had a few people die because they were big on the keto thing and they end up developing colon cancer. What is the likelihood of that many people that I talked to who were diehard on the keto and now they're not even here anymore and they died because of colon cancer? What is it like? I mean, all you got to do is wake up and go, okay, gastroenterologists are not down for that. People who are down for it, we start to see them have a whole bunch of gastrointestinal problems. Many of them end up getting, colon cancer, and then many of them don't make it. That's enough for me. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. That's enough. So that's why I'm putting together and have put together a conference called Food is Medicine. Let's make something affordable. Let's give the power back to the people. Let's help you be informed with clarity, So you know exactly what to eat and what not to eat in order to get the outcomes that you want. So, John, I hope that was helpful. Optavia is not something I would recommend for anybody. And yes, people will lose weight. And I would just say to you, when you talk to someone who's lost weight with it, ask them this question: what weight did you lose? And they're going to look at you like, what do you mean? Say, was it fat weight? Was it skeletal muscle? Was it water weight? Like, how much was fat weight? And then their response is going to be something like this: well, probably fat weight, because my clothes I'm wearing, they don't know. And here they are advocating something that is doing harm to people, and they all don't know. You know, my favorite book says, Lord, forgive them for they not know what they do. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of good, loving, kind people that are promoting this Optavia, formerly Medifast, and they do not know the harm that they're doing. And once you start getting paid for it because it's network marketing, you start to compromise. And if the checks start getting big, you start pushing it even more, even though there's suspicion. So a lot of those people will then avoid. They will turn a blind eye to seeing the truth as it pertains to the damage this program is doing to people. Same as the doctors that are out there. I'm telling you, I know a lot of them Harvard trained. They are promoting and getting their clients and patients on Ozempic, WeGovy. They are pushing it. And I get it. They want to make money. But that's why we have this internal respect for physicians, because we believe that they believe that they're going to give the best recommendations without doing harm to people. And look at this Sharon Osbourne woman. Look at her. I mean, come on. This woman's fighting for her life. She was full of life 10 months ago. She gets on this drug, drops 30 pounds, she's out there wondering, like, what the hell? Now I can't put the weight back on. No, you can't. And if you do, it's going to be fat, because you gave up something extremely important. And as we mature in life, your skeletal muscle, you don't give that up on purpose. You don't put yourself in a worse situation. She went with the recommendation that she got from her physician and what all the hype was. Man, this is sad. It is so sad. And if someone doesn't want to know the truth, okay, then they become dumb, stupid. But if you go and do your own research, okay, just take all the things that I'm sharing, you will come across people who are saying the same thing that I'm saying. I'm not the only one. I know 3 physicians now that have done a lot of testing before they put people on these drugs, and a lot of testing after. And the testing that they were doing was looking at their body composition. And they wanted to measure and see, like, of the weight that these people lost on these drugs, was it primarily fat? Was it water? Was it muscle? Like, what was it? And they all are coming to the same conclusion, that is primarily water and skeletal muscle. So how can anyone who's aware of the importance of skeletal muscle recommend these drugs? I can't. If you care about people, I can't. If you don't give a shit about people and you want to just make money and that's on them, okay. I think that's evil, but that's what's happening. So we are not informed, then we're influenced by those who are misinformed oftentimes, or people who are just evil. And they're just taking advantage of the fact that you don't know any better. All right. I mean, I saw Sharon, and I do know some people that know her. I am going to reach out to my friends, and there's not much I can think of at the moment that I can say to her or give her a program to help her based on her age and her situation. but there may be a benefit for her to actually have clear understanding and accurate information. And I could explain it to her in a way where she will understand. And then based on her experience, the journey she's been on, she'll come back and go, wow, I see what happened. Because, we can do a lot of cosmetic surgery, but you can't do anything to add muscle to your body. When you lose skeletal muscle at 70 years of age, man, the decline is big time. Poor lady, because she doesn't know why she's having a hard time, even if she eats. So here's the part I want you guys to get out, and I'll be done. Let's say she just starts eating a lot of food, donuts and everything, just to put on some weight. It ain't going to be skeletal muscle. It's going to be fat. So when you lose skeletal muscle as you mature in life, the likelihood of you getting it all back, I mean, it depends on what she did before. There's a few other things, but it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same. I mean, when I tore my Achilles tendon and I was in a cast for a long time, it took a good year to get back. I was in my 20s when that happened, and my calf muscles, and I'll take pride in my calf muscles. I think I have good legs, right? So, and so if you look at my right calf and my left calf, they used the symmetry was the same. My left never recovered. Now I have muscle there, but it never recovered fully. And I was a young man. So imagine being 70 years old and going through that. It wouldn't even come close to recovering. You wouldn't get that muscle back. She lost muscle. She lost muscle. All right. Any questions before I say goodbye? Seriously, about the drugs. I know it well. I've been studying GLP-1, GIP since 2010. I know it extremely well. I know it. I've never met a physician that knows it to the level that I understand it and how I can talk about it. And there's many of them that I've talked to. There's some biochemists that are right there with me. And they're professors and they have been studying it as well. But there's not many people that I meet that really understand it. Most people only understand it based on what is provided as far as instructions or understanding when it comes with the packaging for when you take these drugs. There's so many things that they have left out that people just need to be aware of. But right now, if you look at Novo Nordisk, for instance, over 50% of the money that they bring in is because of these drugs. So when you have a pharmaceutical company bringing in billions of dollars, they are not looking at slowing that down. They're not. So they're going to have publicists and writers, and you're going to, like, whenever you see positive articles about it, that's not just a positive article because some writer at a newspaper said, I'm going to do a positive article on this drug. That is propaganda, you guys. But then when you get someone like a Sharon, I can see them going to her and saying, hey, look, we want to help you out. We want to pay you some money for something else just to get her to be quiet. Because once she becomes informed of what I just shared with you guys in this sharing, Sharon's not the kind of person that's going to be quiet. Once she knows what has happened to her based on the weight loss and the skeletal muscle that she's lost and the damage that that's done for the rest of her life, I don't see her being quiet. I don't. John asked a question, what is your program? My recommendation, John, I would, you should see somewhere in there, I would go to my assistant, Lori. We have a few options for you. So Lori at dietfreelife.com. She can set it up where you and I can have a free consultation. She can do the consultation. And in our consultation, we're not just selling, we're informing. And you're talking less than 20 minutes. And so inside of 20 minutes, we can answer questions and then we can kind of tell you how our methodology works. I can tell you that we are scientifically validated and clinically proven. We've done 2 evidence-based clinical studies to prove our outcomes. And that's why the likes of Aetna, Anthem, United Healthcare, the list goes on, will do work with us, is because we are that. We are not a fly-by-night. We've been making this available since 1995, and we've helped a lot of people, celebrities, pro athletes, people that most people would know, and then everyday people. And we do it with real food. You don't got, and when I say real food, I mean, when I go back to see my mom in Indiana, she's going to make some fried catfish and some fried perch. I don't get to eat that in California, where I'm based primarily, but I'm eating it because I know how to eat it, and I know exactly what oil I want my mom to cook the fish in. It ain't going to be vegetable oil. It ain't going to be none of that crazy stuff that causes or is tied to cancer and inflammation and all of the challenges that so many people are experiencing. It's once you have the knowledge, you have the knowledge. And my late friend, the late great Jack LaLanne, he used to tell me all the time, he says, Robert, if you're excited about something, don't keep it a secret. Then when I got to meet with the late great Dick Gregory, and he just really found my methodology awesome, and he let me befriend him, and I learned so much from that man. He was amazing. And my daughter did she did like a study, or like had to write a paper on Black history, and she says, Daddy, did you know this man? Which was so, and I said, yes, I did, sweetie. I spent a lot of time with him. And she was like, well, can I interview you to talk about your time with the late great Dick Gregory? Wow, how cool that was. And Dick Gregory was all about better health, and he liked what we were doing. And then the list goes on and on. So we're not here for a short time. We're here for a long time, and to make a positive impact on the lives of people and share with people the truth. That's why our Food is Medicine conference that I'm doing in about 4 weeks now, I'm pumped about it because so many people are going to be in the know. They're not going to be like misinformed. They're not going to be uninformed. They're going to be in the know. And so when their doctor or someone makes these crazy ass comments about certain things, they're going to be able to like, excuse me, I appreciate what you're saying, but you're a little misinformed. Or however they want to, everybody's different how they would approach it. But they're not going to be swayed or become prey for some crazy way of looking at food or just some other supplement. So anyway, hey, and John, you're in Woodland Hills. All right, my man. I'm in Ventura, California. I'm bi-coastal. Sometimes I'm in Boca Raton, but right now I'm in Ventura, California. I have a clinic here, and then reach out to my assistant if that works for you, or message me, and then we'll connect. I look forward to it. All right, you guys. Hey, for those who are believers, tonight when you go to bed, throw Sharon Osbourne in your prayers. Because I think she's looking for answers, and she's lost. And I'm gonna reach out to some of my celebrity friends who know her personally, and I'm gonna see if they can at least connect me with her so I can have a conversation with her. So, all right. Other than that, I will be live at one point on Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about something else, but in the meantime, go to our YouTube channel. If you get a chance, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so that whenever we upload a new video or go live, you'll have the opportunity to know it's there, and then you can listen or watch at your convenience. Until the next one, I'm Robert Ferguson. Peace.